most of my life has been with Theatre Flamenco. It's something that I really enjoyed. As a dancer, I live 24 hours a day thinking of dance. And I've seen a lot of my dancers, students, become professional people. And I feel like I've contributed to the art, not only to flamenco, but just to the art of performing and teaching. I think the whole concept of flamenco has been brought from East India to Europe, and the Romanian gypsies and the Spanish gypsies. And I think that flamenco has developed to a thing that is not only Spanish, all the different cultures have all contributed to flamenco. I was a dancer I just knew I was going to be a dancer. After 2 years of college, I said, if I want to be a dancer, I better start getting some training. And so I started ballet, and I did ballet for about 7 years. Then I went to Antonia Morales, and she taught me flamenco. Spanish dance has 4 schools. It has the ballet school, it has the folk school, and it's also the classical school and flamenco. And nowadays, everybody gears for flamenco. And I believe that in order to be a full dancer, you should learn all those 4 schools. I think I like them all because they're all a challenge. I mean, I've danced all those rhythms, every rhythm, and Taranto was the hardest. I auditioned for Jose Greco in the 50s, late 50s. I hadn't really had too much training in Spanish flamenco. He auditioned me, and then I joined Jose Greco in New York. Was with the company for about a year. But then I realized I needed more training. My brother passed away, and he left me some money. So this was a chance that I had to go to Spain. I lived in Spain for about 5 or 6 months, and I studied with La Kika. At that time, she was the #1 teacher there, and I kept all my training through her. I met this woman, Joan Davis. She was from San Francisco. She heard that I was coming back to the United States, and she asked me, well, can you take a bata de cola to this friend of mine in San Francisco? You take it, and she'll call you. And I gave her my phone number, and she'll come and pick it up. That was Adela Clara. Then Adela called me and asked me, could I see you dance? So we went to a studio and I danced for her. And she said, look, I need a dancer. Would you like to come and dance with us? And that's when I joined Theatre Flamenco. Theatre Flamenco was founded by Adela Clara in 1966. So I came in 68, and I've been with Theatre Flamenco all these years. Bunny is he's my partner. We've been together for 58 years. I met him in Phoenix, Arizona. He was finishing his master's. He was planning to come to live in San Francisco, but I was going to Los Angeles. I had a show to do at $1 Million Theater, and I said, well, why don't you come with me to Los Angeles? And that's when we started our lives together. He learned how to do costumes, had no training whatsoever, nothing. And he said, well, I can do your blouses, I can do some of your vests and some of your pants. He learned all that by himself. There was a disaster in Los Angeles at our home. The earth moved 10 feet, and all of my neighbors' houses were they were falling down, and it stopped at my house. I was here in San Francisco performing when that happened. Anyway, we lost that house. And then I told Bunny, I says, my career would only be extended if I stay here in San Francisco. San Francisco at that time was so open. Of course, there was still the police trying to harass the gay people. But then when we moved here, we saw how free San Francisco was and that we could be ourselves.
There's a whole generation with a new explanation.
Harvey Milk was really doing things for the gay community. And we thought, well, we finally arrived. And it didn't. Theatre Flamenco is the oldest flamenco dance company in the United States. It's the oldest company that's been going for that many years. Adela wanted to combine drama and dance, poetry and stuff like that. And she did a lot of that kind of work at the beginning. We managed to survive, and people love flamenco here in San Francisco. When Adele left, she gave it to Dini Roman. And then Dini Roman says, let it just die off. And then one of the board members said, why don't you give it to Miguel? So I took it over, And then the company was going to die again. When I says I was going to finish, Adele says, let it die. And I says, I'm not going to let it die because I've given too much of my life for it. And as long as I'm alive, I will keep it alive. It's really amazing how the world has accepted flamenco. It has a way of getting to everybody, rhythm-wise, emotional, or visual. Teaching has been such a great thing for me. I think if I was not a flamenco dancer, I would have been a teacher. I love teaching. I don't think that I would ever give it up unless I got to a point that I couldn't move. Then I would have to say, well, that's it. One of the dancers asked me, well, when do you know when to stop dancing? I told him, you know yourself when you're supposed to stop. If you can't move, then you don't stop, you stop. I hope that my name will be remembered as I've given the best I can to it.